So, yeah, we're in charge of Barcelona now, and when you find out why, it'll make even less sense. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to more Careering Onwards with me, Mr. Grantu, here at the start of season 16. I think this is, and as you can see, yes, we are now in charge, not of Bayern Munich, but of FC Barcelona. So how have we got to this stage? How have we got this job? Because it's been kind of like a running joke over the last few seasons that Gustavo Alfaro, the Barcelona manager, has managed to retain his position for nearly a decade, despite not winning anything apart from a few Copa del Reys for the last 8 years. They haven't won the league in 8 years, and yet he's never been in any danger of being sacked. So what's happened? Has he been sacked? No. Has he retired? No. Well, what has happened then? Well, you might remember last time we were looking at the old jobs and there kind of wasn't really many high-level ones available. We were looking like we're going to have to probably maybe even stay at Bayern Munich for another season, which wouldn't have been the end of the world. We still had to win the DFB Pokal, for example. But there was one notable job which we weren't interested in, but was potentially of interest to some high-level managers, and that one was Tottenham. And, yep, for some reason, no, only to them, only to the board. I don't know if Daniel Levy is still in charge. I don't think, can we see that? I don't think we can. But anyway, no, only to them, Tottenham have decided to hire Gustavo Alfaro, presumably impressed by his impressive track record of mediocrity / complete failure. I mean, he's won a few Super Copas and a few Copa del Reys, but it's not. He did win La Liga back in 2025, which it's a while ago now. So yeah, but that's what's happened. They've hired him. I have no idea why they want to, but good luck to him. And that, of course, brought about a vacancy that we simply could not say no to. Obviously, Bayern Munich was a bit of a stressful time. I kind of maybe arrogantly thought it was going to be really quick and easy. We'd win the league and the cup really in a straightforward way. It didn't happen. Obviously, our first season, we did not win the league, and neither season did we win the cup, but we did manage to get the league back last year. We were very unlucky in the first season, of course, but winning it last season. Mauricio Pochettino has now replaced us, and I mean, we wish some of the players well. Obviously, some outstanding players at the club, Falkenberg, for example, and someone who we'll talk about in a minute, but I think, disagreements with the board. The finances were extremely concerning. They're now rich. That's largely because of something I've done, as we'll see in a minute. But yeah, I just being nearly sacked despite being top of the league because I got knocked out of the Champions League. That's the kind of slight I can't take. So we've moved on to a club who I have wanted to manage for many years for quite a few reasons. And the two most obvious of those are, of course, some former friends. They're in their prime years now. Miguel Salvador, of course, Liverpool legend, absolute superstar. Now he's incredibly good, and it's going to be fantastic to use him again. He's wanted by PSG. They're not having him. And the other man, of course, the legend, Colin Nicholson. Colin, the absolute star of the save, really, for me. He's the main reason why I wanted to come here, and yeah, it's great to see him again. He's got 65 goals in 94 caps for Scotland. He's had a fantastic time. Apart from his big injury recently, he's done pretty well. They've been using him as a winger the last 2 years. He was a striker in his first season, and he got 20 goals, which is where we're obviously going to be using him because that's where we had success for him. With Liverpool, we've turned down a bid from Manchester United. I'm not interested in that. He's staying here, and I cannot wait to use him again. But that's obviously not the only reason, because one other thing we want to do, I mean, obviously one of the main aims of this save is to get to the top of the Hall of Fame, and one of the things we want to do is win all the league titles around the top 5 leagues in Europe. Obviously, we didn't win the cup in Germany, but we won the league, so it's the priority here has got to be to win La Liga as well, and that's going to be difficult because, as we've said, they have not won the league in 8 years. Usually coming third or second, with Atletico alternating with them. But it's been a domination in La Liga for a long time now by Real Madrid. A very long time in the save that they have won the league, and it's going to be pretty difficult to overhaul them. But that has got to be the aim, and I don't think it's actually going to be quite so difficult as you might well think, because actually the last few seasons, last year Barcelona just 6 points behind. The year before, just 1 point behind. Compare that to some of the previous years, where the year before, Madrid were 20 points clear of both Atleti and Barcelona. So it's looking a lot closer. Might not be as difficult as it previously looked like it would be. Madrid obviously going to be still incredibly difficult to overhaul. We'll see some reasons why in a minute for them too. But this is realistically the best thing we could do. And frankly, I'm not interested in going to Real Madrid after what happened last time. That's the other element of this. Madrid, of course, did not hire us after we left Liverpool. It was looking like they were going to. They decided instead to hire Michael Laudrup. He's still in charge, and he's obviously won 2 La Ligas with them. So to beat him and to knock them off their perch, that is really what it's all about. And another thing I really like about this club is the expectations, unlike what we had to deal with at Bayern Munich, are pretty much non-existent. Club culture, the only thing they want is to strive to make progress on and off the pitch. Let's just keep winning games. That's pretty much doable. They only want to qualify for the Champions League this season, and indeed, that is their only aim for the next 5 years. They have no ambition to win the league at all, which might be a bit of a concern. But for me, I think after what we had to deal with at Bayern, this is great. This is absolutely great. So how are we going to do it? Well, we've brought some friends along. First of all, in the coaching department, some familiar names. The main one being of course, Danny Elliott, who is still with us. Of course, we hired him when we were at Cambridge. He's been with us every single step of the way in this journey. Absolutely loving life. He's actually not bad. Not amazing, but not bad. We've also, of course, brought Lionel Messi along with us, back to his former club. He could not say no to that. Some familiar names in the coaching department. Dirk Kuyt is with us. Patrick Vieira, who we have highlighted, has had a massive collapse of his managerial career. He was, of course, starts in charge of Nice. He got sacked by Nice. He was in charge of Brentford for a bit, and then he was the under-18s manager at Perugia. He was then the manager of Chamois Niatar for a while. That's not how you say that. But then Dijon, just some youth team management, Troy, and then we fired him as Barcelona manager. It's fair to say he's not lived up to his potential, but maybe we can bring him back on his feet. A few other familiar names: Jesus Perez, Paul Robinson has been with us for a while. The big one though is that Mark Venus, our assistant manager for the last 2 teams, is not with us. He wants to come, but he wants to be my assistant, and I'm not going to hire him as my assistant because this guy is really good. So maybe he'll come as a coach in a few months, but yeah, this guy is really good, so we're going to keep him. But so, what about the transfers? We'll go quickly through them, because we've made 3 big signings that I think could be pretty good for us. 2 familiar names in them, and then we'll go through the squad briefly as well. We'll get to know them, of course, as the season goes, but I think we've got a really, really good squad. Actually, there's a lot to really like about this, apart from, including, of course, Nicholson and Salvador, but as well as them, and a lot of other good players too. We'll see all those in a minute, but let's go through the transfers that we have made. So in terms of outs, then there hasn't really been any. We've only loaned out a few players. I don't really want to get rid of anyone massively, because most of the players here are pretty good, and I don't want to sort of accidentally get rid of someone that was actually pretty good. There's one guy that's probably going to leave, but he's not gone yet, so we'll talk about that if it does happen. The only one really of note who has gone at all is this man, Oriol. He's gone out on loan to Alaves. Looks very hit and miss in terms of attributes. Could be decent, only 20. Consider keeping him around as a squad winger, but I think we've got enough options so he can go out on loan. So we're going to go straight to the ins, and we needed a right back, we needed a centre back, we needed a midfielder, and that is what we have done. And the right back is someone very familiar. At the age of 34, he's still really good. He's still really good. In fact, he's so good that even though we've paid 6.75 million for him, the board have actually put it on the club vision thing, saying it's a really good financial deal for the club, which, that's never happened for anyone over 30 before. But Trent Alexander-Arnold has joined us. He's going to be our starting right back, I think. Obviously, technically incredibly good, mentally incredibly good, physicals still fine. I think Spain's generally slower paced anyway, so he will be absolutely fine. Liverpool legend, England legend as well, 135 caps for England. I felt bad for taking him away from Liverpool. He's not a one-club man. He will not retire as a one-club man, but there weren't really many other players particularly that were available and affordable and better, and we know what we're getting. He knows the system inside and out. He's played it with Liverpool and with England for a long time. Great to have him. Less familiar is the kind of guy that might have come up on a few reports before, maybe if those have been featured in episodes, but we've never encountered him really, because he he's played his entire career at Villarreal. I don't think we've ever played Villarreal, at least not that I can remember. But our new centre back probably going to, was going to be starting for us as well. We needed a big sort of solid presence at the centre back position. We've got a few decent centre backs, but no one really outstanding. But this man is, I think, outstanding. Elias Rubio, 23-year-old Spanish international. Not many caps for Spain. That'll probably go up now, but I think he is very, very good. Physicals are outstanding, mentals are exceptionally good, and the key technicals, marking and tackling, he's got 16. Heading 14, could be higher, but not too bad. Passing of 13 is really good, actually, compared to some of the other defenders we've got, which is a bit unusual for Barcelona. And then 19 concentration, 17 anticipation in the mentals there. Very, very good. He is a leader. His leadership is only 7, but I think actually apart everything else would suggest he's a good, solid leader at the back. So I think he could be a good option. Lots of positives here. He's one-footed. He's right-footed. He's apparently he's an inverted wing back, but he's apparently comfortable playing at left back, which I know it's inverted wing back, but that makes no sense to me. But yeah, 50 million from Villarreal is, I think, really quite solid business. And I wanted one more player in midfield who could kind of play all 3 midfield roles and just do a really good, solid job for us. And well, there might have been other options. There might have been cheaper options, but there was only one guy I wanted. I could not leave him to the clutches of the AI. Dejan Stojkovic has joined us from Bayern Munich. It's not cheap, but again, all 3 of these signings, the board have gone, wow, that's a really good signing and really good financially as well, which I think I've ever had. Certainly not when paying this much money, but Dejan Stojkovic joins us from Bayern Munich. 81 million, yes, but most of that is in instalments and also clauses as well. Well, I don't think that counts the clauses, but most of it's in instalments, so we're not paying it all up front. We've only paid about 36 million up front, and he's worth every penny. Not quite 5-star potential, but I think he probably will be. He's only 18 and he's already this good. His mentals are crazy good. Work rate is 16, I love that. Physically could be a little bit quicker, but he's controlled, and the technicals, the key defensive ones and passing, for me, very, very good. It would be nice if he was a little bit better in terms of dribbling, going forwards, and a little bit, finishing of 6 isn't really particularly good, but I don't need him to be scoring goals, and actually he did actually score a few goals for Bayern, so I think if we can get these up a little bit, I think playing around some other technical players, he could do really, really well for us. And there we are, and well, I think they're going to be 3 good additions into what is, as I said, an already excellent squad. We'll get to know these as we go, but just to run you through some familiar names, some existing players. We still have some real people here. Matthias de Ligt is here, and he is exceptionally good still. Pace of 10, but I think will still be more than fine as one of our backup centre backs. We've also got another familiar face in, where is he? Kai Havertz, 34 now as well. Still really good, and I think as the backup, Mezzala, maybe even starting Mezzala at some point, will be a very good option for us. But there's some very, very good players here. Charles Gordau in goal, Swiss goalkeeper. He's 28 now. He's incredibly good. I did nearly sign him at one point when we were at Liverpool. When it looked like Alisson was going, I would have signed him. You can see why. Extremely good goalkeeper. Obviously, we've changed some of the defence, but there's some other good defenders here. Pedro Luis, left-footed centre-back. I really like the look of him. Physically, exceptionally quick. Left back is looking good too. Emerson Fernandez, we just done a bid from Man City for him. He's pretty solid. Midfield is, well, kind of where we brought in Stojkovic, of course, but there's some excellent players here. Roberto Corte, he's 30 now, was part of the Brazil squad. It seems insane to see a 30-year-old regen, but he's a world-class midfielder, exceptionally good in every single aspect. Amadou Diop, who we had on loan at Bayern Munich in our first season. Didn't really use him. I didn't use him at all. We paid 15.75 million for him. That's why the club's in financial ruin, things like that. But I basically just signed him to appease Marcos Antonio. But he's come back to Barcelona, played really well last season. He's going to be starting for me in the Mezzala role. Looks exceptionally good, considering he had a whole year doing nothing. I think he's developed insanely well. Nicholson, of course, is going to be starting for us up top, as Salvador, of course, in there as well. Now, this man is probably the best player. He's got a lovely grey beard now. But Santiago Belloqui, I've never encountered him before. I'm assuming because, well, we haven't managed Argentina, we haven't been in Spain, and he's been at Barca for a little while. He was at Porto before that. River Plate was where he started. He's terrifyingly good. He's the kind of player who I would be absolutely horrified of if I was managing the opposition. His set pieces are incredible. Technicals are outstanding. Passing, vision, mentally he's absolutely brilliant. Could maybe be a little bit quicker, but 15 is not bad. I think he could be an absolute menace on the right hand side, and he's done really a very good season last year. I think, yeah, he in our system he could be absolutely sensational. And then left wing is maybe a bit of a concern. Now Tarago is not going to be starting for us. He's decent, but Zivkovic, he's had a bit of an injury in pre-season. He's going to be starting for us. He is a right-footed player, which is a little bit annoying, but his left foot's really quite good. And he's a natural over on the left-hand side anyway, and attributes-wise, he's exceptionally good. So why would we not use him? He cost them a lot from RB Leipzig. Most of these players seem to have played for RB Leipzig, but yeah, he's an exceptionally good player too. As you would expect from Barcelona, they are one of the highest valued clubs, one of the highest reputation clubs in the game. They still are, even 15 years in, as you would, of course they are. We've not even mentioned Sergio Ruano is one of the best strikers in the world. Looks absolutely insane. I swear he used to be at Spurs, but apparently not. I could have sworn he was at Spurs. That's going to annoy me. I'm going to look up who that player was at some point. But anyway, he's here as well. Lots of other options. Oh, Fabio Silva's still here as well. Another real player still here. Yeah, we got a very, very good squad. A lot of good players, and it's going to be exciting to use them. If we can win La Liga, I think it's going to be probably too much to ask this year, given how good Madrid are. We didn't even mention the fact that in addition to their exceptional players such as Antonio Jesus Vasquez, they have gone out and they have spent some big money on some familiar names. This one wasn't even there the last time. They've signed Pedro Ildefonso from Stuttgart, of course, former Liverpool player who we sold. The big one though is they've signed Marko Vujovic from Liverpool. It's going to be painful facing off against him, not least because of how good he is. And if that wasn't enough, they've signed Adam Flint as well, England star Adam Flint. They've spent over 200 million on two right wingers, which they're going to have trouble accommodating both. So that could be interesting. But yeah, they're frighteningly good. It's going to be extremely difficult to in any way beat them. Season preview obviously has them as the 5-2 favourites, as you would expect. And in terms of the team of the Media Dream 11, Gordao is our only player in that team, which is, I mean, there's two guys in here from Real Sociedad who we're going to be playing first of all, so that's really reassuring. But yeah, what do you think of this squad? What do you think of our chances this year? A good test for us. First of all, as we said, it's going to be in our first La Liga game, our first game outside of England and Germany from a club perspective anyway, against Real Sociedad, they've had a fantastic time over the save, really. They're very consistent, and they have been managed for a long time now, 6 years, by Frank Lampard, since he got sacked by Chelsea, had a little bit of time out, now he's in charge of Real Sociedad, which is great to see. Of course, they have a history of hiring British managers, Chris Coleman and David Moyes, both previous managers of Sociedad, but now Frank Lampard having a generally more successful time of it. Okay then, so the team for our opening game is going to be, as you've just seen it, we'll briefly go through it again. Gordon's going to be in goal, Fernandez, Pedro Luis, Rubio and Alexander Arnold the defence, Salvador Corte and Diop the midfield, Zivkovic and Belloqui the wingers, and Colin Nicholson, of course, up front. Whether that's what we're going to go with through the entire season, we'll see how it goes. Certainly lots of scope to bring some players in. Off the bench, Stojkovic, of course, Rubano, Alexandru and Kai Havertz, I think, particularly as well. It's just good to have him because he can play the Mazzala role. He can really actually maybe play the box-to-box role too, but can play on the wings as well as can Rubano. It's a nice, versatile squad, and let's see how they get on against Frank Lampard's Real Sociedad. Of course, a lot of history at this club. Very, very successful club. One of the most successful clubs of all time. A lot of history as well with English managers, Terry Venables, and of course Sir Bobby Robson as well. Proud heritage and clearly not much expectation given the fact that it's been 8 years without a La Liga title, and they don't really seem particularly bothered by that. But maybe since we're here, it might take a while, but we can get things done. Now, Sociedad they're really quite good. Now, this man on here, Domagoj Strok, a player I've considered signing quite a few times throughout the save, he's pretty solid. Maybe the son of Ivica Strok, perhaps, who knows. Nahul Sanchez as well. If I had more money, as much as I love having Trent here, I would sign him, and maybe next year we will. He is probably the best right back in the world. Certainly up there anyway. And Esteban on the left hand side is not too bad either. Roberto Lopez, real player, still up top. Not awful, but he's 33 now, so maybe slowing down a little bit. Yeah, they're good, it's fair to say. But let's see what we can do. Our first match in charge, our first proper game anyway. We done all the friendlies. They went pretty well. Let's hope for 3 points. Let's hope for a good solid start. Obviously this season, if we don't win the league this year, okay, it's not the end of the world. It's not really to be expected. But we're looking at more sort of next year, the year after. But let's just have a good start to life here in Catalonia. And we have got a highlight, first of all, in 2 Liverpool old boys combining, Trent and Colin Nicholson. Seeing those 3 in the squad is just brings back good memories. Zivkovic with an initial run into the box, but it's been cleared. But we're still pressing onwards. Trent Alexander-Arnold puts the ball across, and Zivkovic gets the first goal for us of our tenure in charge. And it's the assist from Trent, of course it is. He's 34. He still knows exactly what to do, like a modern day Dani Alves. It doesn't matter how old he is, he still knows how to put a ball in the box and how to win trophies. And Denis Zivkovic, the German with the headband, gives us the lead. Well, just the second highlight of proceedings so far. Kind of not the most action, but we're looking very measured and controlled. I mean, obviously it's the same tactic, because I'm not a tactical genius. I've come up with one extremely good tactic by accident as Corte goes wide. I'm not going to do another one, and I think it's such a good tactic that as long as you sort of train all the players in the positions, then they end up being able to play it really, really well, whether it's Cambridge United or whether it's Barcelona. And at half-time, Barcelona are playing really quite well. 50-50 possession, but we've had all the chances so far, and we could be getting a second here. Not quite. The ball's been cleared back to Fernandez. Got to be careful here. Trent, just very careful. Zivkovic has it on the left, still recovering from his injury, and it's just been cleared. Right, we've come up to an hour, and I mean we're doing well. A second goal would make me feel a little bit more happy and secure. We've got Bolokwi and Nicholson both having extremely poor games, considering that they are probably our best players. This guy's so good. I mean, maybe he just needs to get used to the new position, even though he's a complete natural in it. I'm going to take off Zivkovic though, because he is lacking quite a lot of fitness. We'll try Kai Havertz out there, see how he gets on. And we can bring on Ruano for Bolokwi. I think we'll try that. I'm not going to take Colin off, not in the first game of the season, as he goes close. I mean, he's a menace. Sociedad looking potentially to break here. Lopez, though, can't quite get to the ball, and the substitutions haven't gone off yet. And Zivkovic has, I mean, I wish he had gone off. He's just given the ball away. And Sociedad working some space for Strok to Luis, and Sanchez on the right-hand side, across, and Esteban, 2 of the players who we highlighted at the start, have scored. And identical goals, really. Right back to left winger for us, and then right back to left winger for them. And Sanchez, I mean, 2 defenders, neither of them picking them up, and Esteban puts it away. I mean, it's their first highlight of the game, so that's just inevitable, really. But right now the changes are actually going to be made. Can we see a bit more from the boys? Salvador to Rubio. Havertz, he's made a bit of a run there, but it's fallen to Diop instead, who's gone all round the houses. And Ruano, can we see an impact from him? The ball's flung in, but it's gone back to the Sociedad defence, and instead they're breaking. Esteban is in, and the shot is relatively tame, and we are countering very quickly, but not in anything that really matters. Right, we're going to demand more. I mean, a 1-1 draw away at Sociedad in our first game, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to go attacking, because that would be stupid. Ruano's in, and really wish he'd just stayed wide. We've got one more change to make. There's not really anyone else who I want to necessarily bring on to be a true game changer. Maybe Stojkovic on his debut. We haven't seen all that much from Corte or Diop. We'll take off Corte. He's 30. We'll bring on the kid. Stojkovic, can you do something magical in these final few minutes? I don't think he is. It's a long season. He's got chances to do it. And with seconds gone now, Real Sociedad 1, Barcelona 1. Not great. It looked like we were going to win, but considering we're away from home and they are a really actually quite decent side with some very, very good players, I think we have to be pretty happy with that. I'm not going to tell them off. I'm going to say I'm happy with the performance, which may be setting expectations a bit too low, but I think, yeah, we didn't lose, and that's a rarity on the opening day of the season. We'll take it. We'll take it. Well, obviously, we're already behind Real Madrid, but that's just going to have to happen. But yeah, I think there's a lot of positives in that performance for sure. And well, a long season ahead of us, but that is going to be the end of things for today. We are obviously still have a few days left in the transfer window. I'm not expecting to do any other business. In fact, we can't do any other business because we have 2 million left to spend, which is not really much for a club like us. We might have some outgoings, probably none that we've used today, but we'll talk about that next time if indeed we do, and if indeed we make any other signings, which I seriously doubt we will. But we will see what happens next time. The obvious thing to do next time is going to be to play Real Madrid. That is up on the 21st of September at the Nou Camp, El Clasico. It's got to be that, probably with either Espanyol. That's like, they are like bitterest rival, aren't they? I think that's right. Yes, they are. Bitter local rivals. So, I mean, there we go. There we go. It's going to be an issue of crowd control for the Catalonia police. I mean, they've got enough on their plates anyway with all sorts of independence and everything like that. But anyway, that will be next time. Derby special, Espanyol and Real Madrid. Hopefully that doesn't get mucked up by the Champions League. I don't think it will. But yeah, that is what we're going to do next time. So thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of just generally the squad we've got. Barcelona, how do you think we're going to do? All that sort of stuff. And I will see you next time for 2 incredibly fiery affairs, I assume. And not that it's even worth mentioning given what a disgrace of a tournament it is, but Club World Cup with Bayern Munich, we had this horrendously unfair group, which we did win, but it completely exhausted us. And then we lost our quarter-final 1-0 to Spurs. The tournament ended up being won from an extra time goal for Chelsea. So at least they win it in this universe.